Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the history enthusiasts out there, welcome back to Timeless Sagas. I'm your host, and today, we're diving headfirst into the world of crowns, thrones, and royal intrigues. That's right, today's episode is all about the history of monarchies. So, grab your best ermine robe and jewel-encrusted scepter, and let's explore the captivating realm of kings and queens, emperors and empresses, from ancient times to the present day. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, well, not that far away, really, our early human ancestors roamed the earth in small, tight-knit communities. As these communities grew in size and complexity, so too did their systems of governance. Enter the monarchy, one such system that has stood the test of time, and with good reason. You see, monarchies have always had this uncanny ability to provide stability in a world filled with chaos. And who doesn't like stability, right? So, let's start our journey in ancient Egypt, one of the earliest and most enduring monarchies in human history. The Egyptian pharaohs were more than just rulers, they were considered divine beings, the living incarnation of the gods. Talk about being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. From the legendary Narmer, who united Upper and Lower Egypt, to the enigmatic Cleopatra, who charmed her way into the hearts of Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, these ancient rulers captivated the world's imagination and left behind a legacy of monumental proportions, quite literally, if you consider the pyramids. But the Egyptians weren't the only ones with a penchant for divine rulers. The Chinese, for instance, believed that their emperors were chosen by the heavens themselves. And who can argue with the heavens, right? The mandate of heaven, as it was called, ensured that the emperor had the divine right to rule, but only as long as he governed justly and wisely. If an emperor was deemed unworthy, well, let's just say that the heavens had a funny way of showing their disapproval through natural disasters and peasant uprisings. It's like that old saying goes, heavy lies the head that wears a crown. Now, if we hop on our trusty time-traveling chariot and ride on over to ancient Mesopotamia, we'll find another fascinating monarchy, the Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians were renowned for their military prowess and their penchant for conquering lands. Their kings were not only skilled warriors but also accomplished builders, responsible for constructing some of the most impressive cities in the ancient world, like Nineveh and Babylon. But, as the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end, and the Assyrian Empire ultimately crumbled under the weight of its own ambition. Fast-forwarding a few centuries, let's take a look at the grandest monarchy of them all, the Roman Empire. From its humble beginnings as a small kingdom ruled by the legendary Romulus, Rome grew to become one of the most powerful empires in history, stretching from the British Isles to the deserts of Egypt. The Roman emperors, like Caesar Augustus and Nero, were larger-than-life characters who left an indelible mark on history, for better or worse. But, as the Roman Empire began to fracture and disintegrate, a new force in the world of monarchies was on the rise, the European Middle Ages. The feudal system, with its lords, vassals, and serfs, might seem like a relic of the past today, but it was the lifeblood of medieval Europe. And at the heart of this system was the monarchy. Throughout the Middle Ages, monarchies were the glue that held together the often fragmented political landscape of Europe. There were the iconic English kings like Richard the Lionheart, who earned his nickname for his bravery on the battlefield, and his brother King John, who was such a terrible ruler that he inspired the legendary Robin Hood to take up arms against him. And let's not forget the French monarchs, like Louis XIV, who turned his court at Versailles into an opulent playground for the rich and famous, while the common people struggled just to survive. Ah, the joys of absolute monarchy. But the winds of change were blowing, and soon the world would be swept up in a whirlwind of revolutions and upheavals, as the common people demanded their rights and freedoms. The English Civil War of the 17th century saw the monarchy temporarily abolished, with King Charles I losing his head, quite literally, in the process. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Channel, the French Revolution sent shockwaves throughout Europe, as King Louis XVI and his wife Marie Antoinette met their grisly end at the hands of the guillotine. In the wake of these cataclysmic events, the concept of the divine right of kings began to lose its luster, and more countries began to adopt constitutional monarchies, where the power of the sovereign was limited by a written constitution. Even today, countries like the United Kingdom, Spain, and Sweden still maintain this form of government, with the monarch serving as a symbolic figurehead, rather than an all-powerful ruler. But, lest we forget, not all monarchies were relegated to the pages of history. In the 20th century, the world saw the rise of new dynasties, like the House of Saud in Saudi Arabia and the Pahlavi dynasty in Iran. Some of these modern-day monarchies have managed to strike a delicate balance between the traditions of the past and the demands of the present, while others have struggled to maintain their grip on power in an ever-changing world. And so, as we come to the end of our enchanting journey through the history of monarchies, we must ask ourselves, what is the secret to their enduring appeal? Perhaps it's the allure of the crown and the scepter, the opulence of the palace, and the pomp and pageantry of the royal court. Or maybe it's the human fascination with power and authority, and the age-old belief that some are destined to rule, while others are destined to be ruled. Whatever the case may be, one thing is for certain: monarchies have played a pivotal role in shaping the course of human history, and their legacy lives on in the stories we tell, the lessons we learn, and the timeless sagas that continue to captivate our imaginations. Thank you for joining me on this whirlwind tour of monarchies throughout history. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Sagas for more engaging and entertaining historical content. Until next time, stay curious, and keep exploring the captivating annals of our past.